Thank you, President Hawkins, members of the board, graduates, and guests. For me, it is a great honor to be able to speak to you. I also want to thank and give my personal thanks to Liz for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem, a sacred song for our nation. While it is a great honor for me to speak to you, I realize, graduates, I am an obstacle. I am an obstacle because I stand between you and the rest of your life. Whether you're receiving a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree today, you are turning a significant page in your life. Graduation is a seminal moment. It is a time of reflection upon your past accomplishments, and a time for eagerly peering forward into your future, somewhat ambiguous future. I remember the joyful feeling I had at my graduations, but I don't remember the details, and believe me, I understand I am a detail here. Much of what we remember in life, though, is actually the emotion of the experience and not the details. As a surgeon, I have witnessed death, trauma, and pain, but I have also been inspired, humbled, and filled with joy. Being in a room with a patient who faced a diagnosis of cancer, a threat to their life and their very personhood, extraneous things like possessions and politics fell away. Their loved ones and relationships were what they focused on. I remember these times because of the human experience of being with another person in an ambiguous situation with the outcome uncertain. A sense of meaning pervades the room. What I have come to see is meaning comes from relationships, and relationships are built upon trust. Medicine has taught me that mortality gives us the gift of meaning. Knowing we are mortal allows us to experience the depth of purpose our lives can have. Birth and death frame our lives like bookends. You may be thinking, dude, this is a graduation, not a funeral. I get it. I'm not going to presume to teach you anything. In fact, what I've been surprised at throughout my career is that the most important learning experiences I've had have been reminding me of things I already knew, but failed to prioritize. You have had the opportunity to study from knowledgeable and experienced professors. Your degree provides you with tools to make better decisions. As you venture out with your new degree, you face an ambiguous world. Our society has a deficit of trust, but you have the agency to start to rebuild that trust. It's not going to be easy, but it is essential. Trust in each other and in our professions is a critical component of well-being. Trust is necessary for culture, which, as you business types know, eats strategy for lunch. Emil Durkheim, one of the founders of sociology, discussed two states, the profane and the sacred. The profane is our daily lives of taking the kids to school, having coffee, cleaning the house. The sacred, like the anthem Liz sang, is a sense of elevation, like walking in the mountains, like seeing a friend's act of kindness, like a communal celebration, like graduation. It is a sense of being part of something larger than ourselves, something greater. It is where social cohesion is built. How do we rebuild trust in society, in our professions, in each other? I would submit to you that it is by imbuing our thoughts and actions with a spirit of kindness. First is to understand what kindness is and what it isn't. It is not weakness. Kindness is not acceptance of mediocrity. It is offering trust to another first, rather than waiting for them to offer it to you. Kindness is hopeful skepticism, a sense of doubt when examining new ideas. But instead of doubt in the individual or group that bring the idea, it is doubt in the assumptions. A lack of faith in assumptions, not a lack of faith in the individual. It is a belief in the power of human curiosity, coupled with the questioning of the underlying assumptions of the argument, not the person making the argument. Jamil Zaki described a study he performed at Stanford, which we'll do right here. I invite you to answer to yourself 2 questions. 1, would you enjoy helping your peers who are feeling down? And 2, do you think the typical Bellevue University student would enjoy helping a peer? Of the Stanford students, 95% said yes, they would help a peer and they would enjoy it. However, they also thought at the same time that more than half of the typical students would not. So if you were one who thought that yes, you would help, but no, the others wouldn't, you're probably in the majority. But both of those things can't be right at the same time. In fact, the students are reporting their actual feelings and expectations of what they would do and what they're called to do. They project a negative view onto their other students. This is called a collective illusion, a belief that most people would do what is not what you would do. That is, they would do something different. And importantly, not what most others believe you would do. So it is a cynic's view. Doing something kind is an act. Being kind is the repetition of many kind acts and the sincere belief that being kind matters. Kindness is one of the ancient virtues of a good life. It is a virtue that may be developed. As Aristotle said, virtue isn't something you were born with, but something you develop through repetition and practice. Confucius said, forget injuries, never forget kindness. Why does it matter? Because doesn't the cynic really seem like the wise one? No. Cynics have higher rates of depression, divorce, loneliness, heart disease, and they die at an earlier age. Acts of kindness lower the stress hormone cortisol, decrease your heart rate, and improve your cardiovascular health. So who's the wise guy now? Rabbi Jonathan Sachs said that morality is a sense of the self behaving for the betterment of the group, a state of Durkheimian sacredness. Morality is the development and celebration of community. Community stresses responsibility and accountability to others. As graduates of Bellevue University, you are destined to be leaders in your jobs, in your family, and in your community. Leadership is most effective when it is imbued with morality. It is the essence of servant leadership. By gaining knowledge of finance, cybersecurity, human resource management, business administration, healthcare administration, and other skills, you will gain others' confidence in your competence. But kindness creates a culture of valuing the individual and the responsibility to the community. It cultivates compassionate, resilient cultures that prioritize staff well-being, reduce burnout, and foster teamwork, that motivates staff and reinforces shared values. So graduates, I urge you to bring kindness to your life and your career. Our society and our nation needs you to be successful. And finally, be kind to yourselves. You will do better if you keep your own house in order, and kindness is a vital component of doing so. And so, Bellevue University graduates of 2026, congratulations, good luck, be kind. Thank you for the honor of speaking to you, and as my act of kindness to you, I will sit down so you can get on with your celebration.